Maheswari from Core Area Innovations Private Limited, and we are working on telemedicine. So we have developed a device for tele eye testing, and so we have been running this company for the past 5 years. We are in the product development, and right now we are going into the marketing. So in this process, we have a lot of challenges. Like I am basically a medical person, and my co-founder is an engineering person, and we do not have accountant or auditors in our company. As a startup, we cannot pay for them, and so we have difficulty in understanding what are the compliances that we have to fulfill in the. So because of lack of knowledge, we tend to make mistake, and then we tend to get problems later on. So
if I understand correctly, that this financial statement, etc., this is an important issue, and you are
yes,
not in a position to take care of that for the time being,
yes,
right?
yes,
So,
yes, yes,
although I understand that you may not have a separate wing or separate department for accounting,
yes.
however, there are CA firms outside
Okay.
for doing only the filing, or not, don't only involve them for the tax filing. So because each company has to pay tax in case of they are earning some income. So apart from tax, you can also take some advisory from them. Okay. Why I'm saying so? Because it is very important, because we know the financial statement, the importance of financial statement. In case we do not clearly mention under which head the expenses are incurred, under which head the income has come, has the income generated from your day-to-day operation, or it has been generated from something else, from some special item, right? So till the time we don't know how to classify them, etc., so then you may not be reporting it in the proper manner. Whatever the Indian accounting standard demands, we need to report the statements in that particular manner. You can take a note on how much cash is coming to you, how much cash is going from your end by looking at the bank statement, but that may not be enough. So I would definitely recommend that even if it is not a separate department you are opening up, but if you can take at least at least half yearly consultation from some of the CA firm, that these are my all invoices, these are my all transactions happened in this, and these are my bank statements, and create a rough work for me, so that at the end of the year, so one you can do it in the month of September and another in month of March, and in the month of March you can finally publish that and get it audited by some auditor. Okay, this is very much important. It is.
So, as you're saying that, the auditors firm will, CA firm will help us. So, we also have some difficulty in this, to getting a good auditor, or, we have found one, that person is always busy, and, sometimes he speaks harshly, like, so you don't know this also, I cannot help you. And, you're not giving me good business, and so there are a lot of issues that we are facing, day to day dealing with the auditors, and these people are always busy. Is there any other tool, apart from these people, where we can get this information?
Yeah, can I just come in here? I think just a quick perspective here, which comes from IIMCEI and working with startups there, is to invest in a basic accounting software. So it's an upfront fixed cost, but then Zoho, Tally, whatever be it, to maintain accurate financial records is extremely important, which then goes hand in hand with capacity building within your own organization as well. So
Okay.
there are several short online videos on startup finance and compliance, which you can take up. There are such videos on several MOOC platforms as well. And this is probably a cheaper and a longer term solution first to be regularly compliant. And then, as Professor Samit said, going back and doing a more kind of consultative collaboration with auditors would be helpful. Professor Samit?
Right. So apart from that, auditor, if there is any issue like audit related issue, so first thing, if you should remember that auditors want backup. So whatever you have done, whatever transaction you have done, you should have invoices, proper invoices in place, right? Because they will not go by your face value. They will always go by the documents. Any transaction happened, you paid somebody, you have received somebody, there should be proper record. Once the records are in place, that gives auditors some flexibility that they don't need to, spend more time or investigating that how this figure is coming. So always keep your whatever transaction have a backup. If you can provide backups to the auditors, now you will see auditors' behavior will change. Auditors will try to see any transaction happen. What is the reason behind that? Suppose any of the assets your company is having. What is the nature of the asset? Are you maintaining the asset? Are you marking that? That okay, I have got a table number 1. I have got another table number 2. I have got 2 machines, 1 or 2. So you should maintain your stock very well. You should maintain all records, all invoices. So whenever we are talking about compliances, any breach of compliances, because we cannot produce our evidence, right? As per the knowledge, so maybe one is the knowledge gap. We don't know what are the things we need to do, but it is better if we don't know anything, we keep everything. So whatever is there, any transaction is happening, keep a backup. Any supplier, etc., take always their signature on the bill. Also, any customer, they have receipt, take a receipt copy from there. So if you keep everything on place, automatically audit for it will ease the job of the auditors, and auditors behavior will change. So that one thing I can definitely say. And apart from that, there are several, as Professor Aditi also mentioned, that there are several videos are available that you can know that what are the ways you can keep a stock, what are the ways you can make which sort of documents are more important than others. You can always keep a portfolio.
Okay, so thank you so much. And apart from this, for every startup, this is a big challenge that getting funds to run the company. And can you just help us with some of the information where we get funding, both the government and private
Absolutely.
funding?
I think firstly, in terms of capacity building, there are several workshops which are now proactively organized. Webinars are organized by Startup India, MSME Ministry, or incubators such as IIMCEI. So it would be good to stay connected with those networks so that you're able to avail of these capacity building initiatives as much as possible. Then there are government toolkits which you may be aware of already, SEBI, startup compliance guides, and so on, which you can also avail in this particular respect. Then having a couple of mentors or kind of encouraging mentorship within your organization from people within the health tech space, startup space, or otherwise with a finance background also can help you to get guidance in a continuous manner, in a more sustainable manner. In terms of more larger funding challenges which startups face, I mean, of course, IIMCIP has a large funding pool and base, but then alongside that, there are government startup grants. So from a policy space, there is Atal Innovation Mission, SIDBI's Fund of Funds for startup. Also, you will have the Tata Social Innovation Challenge or Entrepreneurship Challenge, TSEC, held by IIMCIP, and so on. So look out for those opportunities where you can proactively apply, because you have an extremely fantastic product, and if you can develop it to cater to the requirements of these funders in the larger policy and the incubator space, that would be impactful for you, I believe. Again, would like to call in Professor Samit Paul for any VC related advice.
So one thing what I would say, you must have one presentation deck, one slide deck, which is very concise, giving what is your vision, what are your modus operandi, and how much profit or the growth you are expecting from a particular sector or a particular from your business. Now, for getting a funding, so first thing is to convince that person, the other side, right? They will be convinced about the idea and your growth trajectory. These two things are very important. So rather than that, how much should be the investment, what would be the ownership, those things comes later on. The first thing they try to see whether your idea is good enough, it is a sustainable business idea, and what is the growth rate one can expect for that. Right? Make your presentation one presentation format very concise, it should be provided that, okay, what are your modus operandi and where you can reach in, say, next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Apart from that, so this is very important. Apart from that, if there is any social impact you can create, that will always be an advantage here. So whatever you are doing, obviously we are doing for business purpose, that should be clearly mentioned. But at the same time, if it has any social impact, please also highlight that, because then it will be easier to mobilize funds.
So, right, Maheshwari,
Yes.
I
Thank
hope
you.
that these discussions have been useful for you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for your valuable inputs. And I will see how we can modify certain things that we are working on. No, as you said, that making the desk very precise and very clear, and so working with the auditors. And so we have to keep our documents right to get the proper inputs from the auditors. It was very useful, and thank you so much, Professor Aditi and Professor Samit, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.